When your dog follows you from room to room, do you actually know what they're trying to say? Yes, it's sweet, it's familiar. You've probably laughed about it, your shadow with 4 legs who can't let you walk to the kitchen alone. But behind that closeness, there's something most people completely miss. It's one of the most ancient, emotionally loaded things your dog can do. A behavior that goes back further than any trick they've ever learned, further than any breed that's ever existed. And if you've been reading it as simple affection, which most owners do, you might be missing what they've been trying to tell you for years. Because this isn't really about affection, it's about survival, and the fact that, somewhere deep in their nervous system, you are the solution. Let's start at the beginning. Not your dog's beginning, humanity's. 1. The real story nobody told you about where dogs came from. Most people think dogs were tamed, that at some point, early humans looked at a wolf and decided, let's make that a pet. That's not what happened. Here's what's actually happening in the fossil record and in your dog's DNA right now. Dogs were never tamed, they tamed themselves. Around 20,000 to 40,000 years ago, humans lived in small bands across North America, Asia, and Europe. They moved constantly, they hunted, they failed, they survived on the edge. And at the boundary of every campfire just outside the light, wolves waited. Not to attack, to scavenge. Humans are messy. Even starving hunter-gatherers leave bones, scraps, the remains of whatever they managed to kill. To a wolf, a human camp wasn't a threat, it was a buffet. But here's the part that changes everything. Not every wolf could get close. The aggressive ones got speared. The terrified ones got nothing. But the wolves who were slightly calmer, slightly less reactive, slightly more curious, those wolves ate. And they survived. And they had pups who inherited that same quiet tolerance. Generation by generation, without a single human making a conscious choice, wolves were filtering themselves, selecting for proximity, selecting for calm. Think about that for a second. Your dog didn't come from a wolf that was captured and broken. They came from a wolf that chose to stay near the fire. That is not a small distinction. That's the whole story. And by the way, if your dog ever makes direct eye contact with you and just holds it, soft and steady, don't brush that off. We'll come back to what that actually means. And it's something most owners don't fully understand until it's explained to them. 2. What science found when it recreated this process. Here's what most people don't realize. We've actually watched this happen in real time. In 1959, a Soviet geneticist named Dmitry Belyaev began an experiment at a research facility in Novosibirsk, Siberia. He took silver foxes, wild, reactive, never domesticated, and did one simple thing. Every generation, he selected only the foxes that showed the least fear and aggression around humans. That's all. No training, no conditioning, no rewards for tricks. He simply allowed the calmest animals to reproduce. Within 4 generations, the foxes were approaching humans voluntarily. Within 10, they were wagging their tails. Within 20, they were whining for attention, seeking eye contact, showing behaviors that had never been trained, only inherited. But here's what made scientists stop cold. The foxes didn't just change behaviorally, they changed physically. Their ears went floppy, their coats developed patches, their snouts shortened, their stress hormone levels measurably, documentably dropped. A 2018 analysis published in the journal Nature, Ecology and Evolution confirmed what Belyaev suspected. When you select for reduced fear, you don't just get a calmer animal, you get a fundamentally different one biologically rewired for closeness. This is what happened to wolves over thousands of years beside human fires. Not training, evolution. The same mechanism, the same result. Your dog isn't friendly because someone taught them to be. They're friendly because every frightened, aggressive ancestor they had died before passing that fear forward. What survived was willingness, openness, the capacity to choose you. 3. Why your dog follows you. Specifically, not just anyone. You've probably noticed your dog doesn't follow everyone equally. They might tolerate visitors, they might accept affection from your family, but there's a specific person in their world they track, a specific presence their nervous system orients toward. Yours. Here's what's actually happening at the neurological level. Dogs are not pack animals the way wolves are. That model has been largely revised by modern behavioral science. What dogs actually form are attachment bonds, the same category of bond that human infants form with caregivers. A landmark study from Eötvös-Loránd University in Budapest used brain imaging to measure how dogs responded to the scent and voice of their primary caregiver versus a stranger. The results were unambiguous. The regions of the brain associated with reward, safety, and emotional regulation lit up specifically, almost exclusively, for the person they were bonded to. Not because that person fed them, not because of training history, but because that person had become, neurologically speaking, a safe base, a biological anchor. When your dog follows you into the bathroom, into the kitchen, down the hallway at 2 a.m., they're not being clingy. They're doing what every attachment-bonded creature does when their safe base moves away from them. They follow the signal that tells their nervous system, everything is okay. What makes this even more powerful is what happens when you're gone. Studies measuring cortisol, the stress hormone, show that dogs separated from their primary person experience measurable physiological distress. Not just behavioral restlessness, actual biological stress responses. Your absence is not neutral to them. It registers as a threat. And your return, your literal physical presence, is the resolution. And hey, if this is making you see your dog differently, hit like and subscribe. It helps us reach more dog lovers who actually want to understand what their dog is really saying. 4. The ancient wiring behind the modern dog. This didn't come from nowhere. The behavior you see in your dog, the following, the proximity seeking, the need to keep you in sight, has roots older than any breed, older than agriculture, older than the first intentional human-dog burial, which archaeologists dated to roughly 14,000 years ago in what is now Germany. In that grave, a man, a woman, and a dog placed carefully beside them. The dog had suffered a severe illness as a puppy. Based on the bone evidence, it had survived for weeks, possibly months after the point where it could no longer fend for itself, which means someone fed it, tended to it, chose to spend resources they didn't have, in one of the harshest environments humans have ever survived, keeping a sick dog alive. That is not utility. That is not a working animal relationship. That is the same attachment bond you have with your dog right now, playing out across 14,000 years. The wolves who survived near human camps did so because they offered something invaluable: early warning, hunting assistance, warmth, and presence. But somewhere in that exchange, something changed. The relationship stopped being transactional. Because here's the thing about attachment bonds. They don't stay strategic. They become real. Your dog's ancestors spent thousands of generations learning to read human faces, respond to human voices, synchronize with human emotional states. That's not training. That's coevolution. Two species are slowly rewiring each other across millennia, and the result is sitting somewhere near you right now, tracking your movements, calibrating their mood to yours, waiting for you to settle so they can settle too. 5. Why you were chosen and what that actually means. Dogs don't bond this way with everyone. You may share your home with other people. Your dog may love them, play with them, and sleep near them. But there is, in most cases, one person who holds a different status. One person whose presence produces a different physiological response. One person who functions as the primary attachment figure, and that distinction, who your dog has chosen as their anchor, is not random. Behavioral research shows that dogs assign primary attachment based on a combination of consistent presence, predictable emotional tone, and something harder to measure but clearly real: attunement. The sense that this person sees them, responds to them, is with them. If your dog chose you, it means something specific. It means that in their assessment, refined over thousands of years of reading humans, you are safe, you are consistent. You are the variable that makes the world make sense. Think about that for a second. They can't explain it. They don't have language. But they have something older and more precise than language. A nervous system that knows, without being told, who to trust. And they trusted you. 6. What the eyes are really saying. The moment most owners miss. Remember earlier, when I mentioned your dog holding eye contact with you, soft, steady, unprompted. This is what I was talking about. For most animals, prolonged eye contact is a threat display, a dominance signal, a challenge. Wolves don't hold soft eye contact. Most mammals don't. It is not a natural behavior across the animal kingdom, but dogs do it with their people. A 2015 study published in Science measured oxytocin levels, the bonding hormone associated with maternal attachment in both dogs and their owners after periods of mutual eye contact. What they found was remarkable. Mutual gaze triggered an oxytocin feedback loop in both species simultaneously. The dog's oxytocin rose, the human's oxytocin rose, the same neurochemical cascade that binds parents to newborn children. This is not a metaphor. This is measurable biochemistry. Dogs evolved the capacity to do this specifically with humans. Wolves, even raised by humans from birth, do not show this response. It is a feature that emerged through domestication, a bridge built across thousands of years of proximity and trust. When your dog looks at you that way, not because they need something, not because they're startled, but just because you're there, they are completing a neurochemical circuit that connects you to something 40,000 years old. This is what most owners never realize. That quiet moment on the couch, that soft gaze across the room, that is not small. That is the entire story of how we became what we are to each other, compressed into a single look. 7. When the following stops, don't ignore this. There's one more thing. If your dog has always been your shadow, always close, always tracking, always nearby, and that changes without explanation, pay attention. Dogs don't withdraw from their attachment figure casually. When the proximity seeking stops, when they stop following, stop seeking eye contact, stop orienting toward you, it almost always means something has shifted. Sometimes it's pain. Dogs experiencing physical discomfort will self-isolate. They'll find corners. They'll stop engaging. It's an ancient survival behavior. Don't show weakness to the group. Sometimes it's distress, emotional stress, environmental change, or something in the household that has disrupted their sense of safety. And sometimes, rarely, but it happens, it reflects a rupture in the attachment bond itself. Repeated punishment, unpredictable behavior, and interactions that made them unsafe. Dogs, remember, not with words, but with their nervous system. The good news is that attachment bonds are repairable. Slowly, consistently, with calm and presence, the bond rebuilds. But you have to notice it first. Don't ignore it. So when your dog follows you down the hallway, sits outside the bathroom door, settles only after you've settled, you know what's actually happening now. That's not clinginess. That's not bad training. That's 40,000 years of evolution arriving at the same conclusion, over and over again. You are safe. You are the anchor. You are the reason the nervous system quiets down. Somewhere in Germany, 14,000 years ago, someone nursed a sick dog back to health during an ice age. They didn't have to. They chose to. That's not utility. That's love. And your dog following you to the kitchen at midnight, it was never small to them. It shouldn't be small to you either.